You can never have too much education of the truth. It helps you to have more compassion for your fellow human being. How many little girls they could fit on there to use as sex slaves and take back to Europe?
Quite a few.
At least 10.
Just that they are a class of ship that was built at that time. There were hundreds of these that were built at this time now. The Santa Maria was a different class of ship that was actually larger than the Nina and the Pinta. But these two ships are synonymous with the destruction of our culture, and were used to take slaves back to Europe. You know, when they left. When they left Haiti and went back to Europe, they had taken natives with them. And a lot of them were young girls, little girls. They would also sell these girls into slavery, into the sex trade in Europe. And 9 and 10-year-old girls brought the most money. It's sad that this is the history. But it's the history, it's the truth nonetheless. But it's a big draw when you say the Nina and the Pinta replicas are coming, you know. That's, you know, a lot of money that this company's making. And they're not even an American company, they're based out of the British Virgin Islands. You know, it kind of makes you wonder, you know, where is this money going to? You know, are they using it for philanthropic causes? You know, are they paying reparations to people that were affected by these ships? You know, we don't hear that. And I wish we did. Their company, their website doesn't even have a mission statement. You know, and it's sort of generalized. You know what they're about on their About Us pages. And it just seems to me they're about making money.
You know, you can never predict the future, no one can, but my strong prediction, I'd be willing to bet my house that there would be a huge uproar. Get that Nazi crap out of here. There would be parents, there'd be grandparents, aunts and uncles, there'd be children. Get that Nazi crap out of here. If it's outside of the context of a museum, and it's just, hey, bring your kids, bring your families, come check out the Nazi tanks, come check out the Third Reich tanks. Then people are like, what are you doing? We don't want that here, get that out of here. That belongs in the trash heap of society. I mean, so yeah, I think it would be a very strong negative reaction, not quiet or sympathetic. Oh yeah, look at the Nazi tanks, yeah. So I think that would be my best bet, yeah.
We need to start teaching our children the truth.
So how do you feel about them charging an admission or not paying the workers that you were saying earlier? Do you feel that?
I don't think it's right. You know, I found out this morning that these the crew members are actually volunteers. I don't think with the possible millions that they make off of these stops and tours that the crew doesn't get paid to bring these around to teach about the ships themselves. And don't get me wrong, I think it's great that they bring the ships around for historical value to teach about what it was like on those ships. I just think they could have used the names of other ships instead of the Nina and the Pinta, because they represent the destruction of our culture and our way of life. Don't get me wrong; they're beautiful ships.
Mm-hmm.
But to use the Nina and the Pinta as a marketing tool, the representative, so to speak, of genocide is what they represent to me.
Do you feel most people care, people that are visiting these ships across the country, do you feel that they care about what happened, or they just care about the ship and how nice it looks, the presentation?
I think, well, we just had one older gentleman walk by and said, well, let them protest Columbus all they want, I'm here for the ships. And that's a fine sentiment to have. You know, I can understand wanting to appreciate the ships. But I think they should be taught, even on the ships, you know, not just what it was like to travel on the ship over here, but what was done to the people that were already here, you know, that Columbus supposedly discovered. I think that definitely needs to be taught. You know, to just gloss over, well, they're just ships. Well, these two particular replicas aren't just ships. You know, I think people would open their eyes and open their ears and their hearts and minds and try to understand.
How are you going to have enough food to last hundreds of people on a ship this size? Because it's not really a big ship if you want to,
right,
you know, say it looks like there's 10, 15 people on it, and, you know, 300 people, I mean, there's not enough room.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they probably did a lot of fishing.
Okay.
A lot of fishing.
That's why they like seafood.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that they had other dry goods to bring with them to feed the crew.
Yeah, that's my seafood.
And that's just common sense, you know. To spend that long at sea, and it's sometimes rough seas.
You don't know where you're going.
And yeah, I think it could be confusing and a little frustrating when you don't find land when you think you're going to find land, you know.
300 people have to use the bathroom. You know what I mean? Get rid of waste.
Right.
What if some of the women were pregnant? I mean, there's just so many.
And we don't know if there were women on the Nina and the Pinta, you know, on the way here. There's definitely, you know, the truth with the Mayflower, you know, that there were women and children on those ships, and some of them died along the way. They didn't have enough provisions for the amount of people that they had. You know, and it's tragic. It is a tragic history. People seeking to find a better way of life and find a place where they're not going to be persecuted for their spiritual beliefs. But I think what is lost in this American history is that it's forgotten that in their quest to seek religious freedoms and freedoms in general themselves, they took ours away. They took our land, they stole it from us. They raped, murdered, and plundered. Even the first accounts of the Mayflower, you know, and people coming on shore, they came on shore and they stole food, you know, which would have been freely given, you know. And history records that the people would have freely given it, you know, had they been asked. Well, after numerous times of travel back and forth, he was actually convicted of atrocities. He was convicted, I believe one of the convictions was stealing from the royal family. And he was imprisoned.
So why is he celebrated? Why does he have a holiday?
You know, that's what I don't understand, because the man should not be celebrated. He didn't discover anything. He was lost, and he was basically taken in, welcomed, and he brought death and destruction to the people on Haiti. You know, to me, giving him hero status like that is like giving hero status to Hitler. And that will never happen. Now, I'm all for people celebrating their cultural heritage. I love to go to Irish Cultural Festival. I've been to the Greek Festival in Cleveland. I've never been to the Columbus Day Festival in Cleveland, in Little Italy. It's disturbing to see people honor a man like that.